Are we going to war with Iran? Welcome aboard. Well, Jeremy, we are now moving our second aircraft carrier group to the Middle East.
Fun fact about the Middle East.
What?
Did you know that Abraham Lincoln is in the Middle East for President's Day?
How is Abraham Lincoln in the Middle East for President's Day?
Well, it's not him. He's dead and buried. It's the carrier.
It's the first carrier in the Middle East is the Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
And it was moved there. And we're now moving a second carrier group from the Caribbean to the Middle East.
We keep a carrier there. It was moved there a long time ago. It lived there for a while.
For some reason, I'm thinking they moved it this time from Southeast Asia. I'm not 100% sure. Let me look that one up. Hold on.
I mean, maybe I'm remembering the 90s, but it seems to me like I remember that we keep a carrier around in the Middle East all the time. There's one in that region of the world all the time. I know there definitely was during Desert Storm 1 and 2. But I feel like I remember that we're some fact somewhere along the line that we always keep a carrier in that region, always.
Top of my head, we always have one in Asia and Japan and that area. We've always had one in the Middle East.
Yeah. So I think the Abraham Lincoln, it was just its turn to be there for a while. But the fact that we're moving a second one in is a big deal.
Hang on, I'm looking it up on ChatGPT. The Abraham Lincoln was part of a planned deployment in the Indo-Pacific, operating in areas like the South China Sea and Indian Ocean after leaving its home port in San Diego. In January, it was moved to the Middle East because of tensions with Iran. So, yeah, it was in the area of Japan. It is now in the area of the Middle East, has been there since last month. And
Indian Ocean and Persian Gulf are right next to each other. So
it's not too far. It wasn't too far. Now, the second carrier group, it's the Gerald R. Ford, which is the most advanced aircraft carrier, bar none, in the world. Estimates say it could be there in as little as a week, and some of the rumors that I've seen is it moved out last Friday. So it could arrive by Friday this week.
Oh, okay.
And being that today's Monday, we're looking at 4 days from now.
Yeah.
So here's the situation. Have you heard about what Trump's been saying?
No. Remember me, I live under a rock.
Okay. Trump has now outright said, regime change might be on the table. So that opens up a different can of worms.
Yes.
And so I'm not saying regime change would be bad. I think that regime change would be great. But moving the second carrier into the area, that means it's getting serious. And now the next talks with Iran are, as of this recording, tomorrow on Tuesday. I have a feeling that if the talks don't go well, I think next weekend we're bombing the heck out of Iran.
Maybe.
Why do you say maybe?
I know I'm the warmonger who built bullets for a living, but I'm never advocating for war. I always hoped that none of my product ever got used.
No, but I'm not saying you're the warmonger. I'm just saying what's your opinion.
I would like to think that, it isn't going to go to that, that we aren't.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think diplomacy will win out at some point and everybody kind of settles down and, as a friend of mine says, settles their happy ass down about it. As it goes, a friend of mine once told me, who grew up in that region, said, we're going to fight with you even if we're getting it for free. So I guess in some ways that's kind of their culture. I just rather not see it devolve in a week.
Well, here's the other thing that's happened, because things are ratcheting up. Iran just launched a brand new missile. It's called the Khaybar missile. It's called the Khaybar missile. It's supposed to go up when it's in the atmosphere. It's doing Mach 16. But once
Oh, wow.
it re-enters the atmosphere, it's going Mach 8. And people are like, oh, wow, Mach 8. If it hits an aircraft carrier, it's going to destroy it. I looked it up. Aircraft carriers, guess how fast of a missile they can hit?
I don't know.
Mach 10 to 20. So the aircraft carrier groups do have the ability to shoot that incoming missile down. So, Jeremy, where are you right now? Because you're not in the studio with us.
No, I'm not. In fact, this is the first of a few that we're experimenting where I'm actually on my phone sitting in an Airbnb in Colorado visiting my grandson and my son and his wife. So,
and you're making coffee right now, which is super important.
And I made coffee because, as you know, I don't run on anything but coffee and adult beverages.
By the way, we are available for a sponsorship.
Yes. And this is a shameless plug for them. I pay full price for their coffee all the time, but I love them. They're called Leap Knot and they're out of Idaho. They make the best roasted beans.
So our next endorsement, we're hoping they endorse us, but Jeremy endorses Leap Knot coffee. So Leap Knot coffee, you have now been endorsed by teachers in train stations.
There you go. They do make great coffee.
Can I give a non-endorsement?
You can.
Okay, long story short, I have 2 solar companies on my roof. One is Sunrun. Do not, under any circumstances, go with Sunrun. The reason why, in the last 6 years or so, I've had 17 problems with the system. On the other hand,
I'm hearing about it.
Oh, yeah, no, I've told you about, I'll have to sit down and tell you. We'll do a whole show on Sunrun and why you should not get Sunrun. The other systems from Current Home, absolutely fantastic. Turned it on, haven't had a problem since. All right. So apparently Iran has whole underground bases chock full of these missiles. And people are saying, oh, the United States will never get these missiles. We'll never be able to hit them because they're underground.
Yeah, I mean, but we also have the ability to shoot them out of the air. I mean, we've had this program for a billion years now called the Phalanx system, where it literally fires like 4,000 rounds a minute. I mean, it's an outrageously large amount, and these aren't little gun rounds. These are huge suckers, and it literally fills the airspace with lead. And
yeah,
those missiles down as they're coming in. So, I mean, even if they were to send one, even if it got close to a carrier, and this was technology from like the 90s, I can guarantee we can get them down somehow before they get to us.
Oh, yeah. Well, that system, I was just watching a video about it, is the last layer of defense. We've got missile-to-missile missiles in the aircraft.
No, that's what I said. I mean, we've had this system forever. We've got to have better.
Oh, yeah. No, we can shoot down an incoming missile system. Sorry, an incoming missile with our anti-missile systems.
Yeah.
You know, they would have to get a really, really lucky hit. The other thing is Iran has been messing around with drones, because drones are cheap.
That is the thing that scares me the most about warfare, those little drones. I mean, they're making them out of cardboard, you know?
They now have a new drone defense system. They just announced. Apparently it works. They've shown video of it. It looks to me like a missile that goes up, it spreads out some wings, it flies around, and it does electronic pulses. And it literally fries the drones. It fries their electronics, so they drop into the sea. Now, the one disadvantage is they have to be very careful not to shoot our own planes with this thing, because it could fry out our own planes. Well, I'm sure there's some kind of defense for that, though. But
there is, and it's called hardening. Hardening is usually a term reserved for metal, but hardening on electronics is EMP pulses only work if the signal can get to the item.
Okay.
And the best way to explain this is a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage, close your eyes and wrap your mind around this, stand in a room completely screened in with metal screen. And have that metal screen be grounded to the ground really well. What happens is the radio waves will get caught by that screened room, which turns into a huge antenna. Where does it go? Straight into the ground. It never gets to the inside of that screened room. If you ever grew up in an area that had screened porches and you had metal screened porches, you probably didn't get a very good radio reception from that area.
Well, my guess is our planes and our electronics are covered with this Faraday system.
We do. I trust me. I mean, you know the world I came from. We had lots of equipment back in the 80s and 90s that was hardened for this kind of stuff, and it's pretty standard. In fact, you'd be surprised how much actual equipment in a car we drive around is hardened to a certain extent to keep other interfering radio waves from it, because EMP pulses is the same basic thing as an EMI, electromagnetic interference. A pulse is just strong enough, it knocks everything out. Interference just provides static or noise on the line. And they're basically the same thing. You just need a better version of it to keep the pulse out.
Well, here's my question for you. Let's assume Tuesday, tomorrow, doesn't go well. Trump is saying, hey, regime change at this point would be the best thing. Trump, looking at Nicaragua, he gave Maduro. Wait, was that Nicaragua? That was Venezuela, right?
Venezuela.
Looking at Venezuela, Trump gave Maduro a chance to walk away, keep his billions that he's stolen from the country, and just walk away and allow somebody else to take over. And he didn't. So we went in days after that conversation. Let's assume that just hypothetically that happens here. Tuesday doesn't go well, which is probably the day this is being released. Let's say we're going to attack by, say, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe the week after that. How do you think this is going to go for Iran?
Well, it won't go well. I mean, let's face it, it's not going to go well. It's like, I don't remember what comedian said it, and it's in horrible taste, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's like, we can't bomb them into the Stone Age. We'll have to bomb them out of it. And
okay, all right.
So, I mean, it's not going to go well.
Well, when I look at it, this is what I think. They're thinking that they have an underground base, that those missiles are safe. We just took out underground nuclear reactors that were buried deep, and we took 4 bombs or 3 bombs, and we were literally able to put these underground bombs, these things that could dig into the ground. One went down, blew up. The second one went down and went right into the hole made by the first one. So we were able to take out this nuclear reactor. If we can do that for a buried nuclear reactor, you think this underground missile base is going to be safe?
Absolutely not.
That's going to be taken out. And last time I checked, missiles with bombs will blow up if they're blown up. It's like it's an ammo depot. You blow up the ammo depot, you've got a big boom. Yeah. And I think that's going to happen. We're going to take out their air defenses. Yeah, they might have a few of the advanced radars that China gave Venezuela and that Russia gave Venezuela. How'd that work out for Venezuela? The whole system fell apart.
Well, I mean, we've had the HARM missile for years. That's another one I've worked on. And I mean, it's basically a tiny little itty bitty skinny, very little radar effect missile that can fly in, and as it gets close to the radar station, the whole front end explodes and a bunch of little itty bitty bombs comes out, kind of like a shotgun, and it takes out the radar array. And as far as airports go, the way we take out airports is we drop little itty bitty bombs and just ruin the runway. They can't take off now. Well, we don't actually have to go in and cause this mass chaos and damage to be able to end a war.
Well, the other thing is, and you made me think about this, back in the Persian Gulf War, which was how many decades ago?
Yeah.
We went in and we had these bombs that dropped, and then it spread these little filaments that would hit the phone lines and the electricity lines. And we thought it would work. Apparently it worked so well.
If you've ever seen a Mylar balloon get caught by a power line.
Boom.
I mean, that's all you got to do. And it's called chaff in that world, but it's just basically a bunch of strips of Mylar. It's like tinsel.
And it works effectively. And we have the ability to drop it.
Yeah, because what happens is it just resets. It just trips all the breakers. Well, in a modern system like we have in America, it just trips all the breakers, and you can't go around and turn them all back on very easily.
Yeah, it takes a while. Well, a couple of years ago, they had the entire eastern seaboard shut down because of a rat that got into the system and got electrocuted. So the rat was dead. But the entire system cascaded in shutting down to protect the system. And it took days for them to turn the whole thing back on. Why? I don't know, but that's what you have to do.
Well, I think you're referring to that one that happened in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
is that
about
right?
20 years ago. Yeah.
For like, it wasn't a rat. I can't remember what it was. There's actually a guy, Grady, Practical Engineering. He actually does a whole deep dive on it. It's a really good episode, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it worked out to just a cascading effect of little problems that nobody thought if you added them all together, it would be a big one, which is what most civilization breakdowns end up being. It's like, oh, you mean that happened? It's like the tsunami in Japan. It wasn't any one thing that caused that reactor leak. It was, oh, the wave was tall. Oh, shoot, we had a crack in the foundation there. Oh, this was an issue. And it just cascaded down. And that's that Seaboard. I want to say it was a tree and a broken circuit breaker that caused the beginning issue of that cascade, but I can't remember for sure. He had a video on it years ago. It was a pretty good video, actually. Yeah, but that's the thing. We don't have to go in. Everybody sees war as this massive chaos where we go in and send troops like Red Dawn, and it's like, no, you'd be surprised how effective we can be with just some simple things. We need people to not cross an area. We have the ability of dropping a ton of mines across an area. And then later on, when it's all done, clear the area, make sure nobody's around, click a button, all the mines blow up. We don't have mines anymore there.
By the way, I just looked it up. High voltage power lines in Ohio sagged in the summer heat and made contact with trees. When that happens, lines trip offline. So that's what started the whole cascade. So you're right. It was trees. It wasn't a rat.
I think it was lightning for some reason.
See, yeah. I think you're right, at least mostly right. I think if we do this, I don't think Trump is just going to go in and half-ass this. I think Trump is going to go in. I think he's taken out the head of the regime. I guarantee you, we know where Ayatollah Khamenei is. And I have a feeling we're going to cut off the head of the snake. I have a feeling that they will take him out. The question is, do we put boots on the ground? And I just don't see the setup for that. I think we're going to set it up where hopefully the Iranian people go in and the regular military, not the Iranian Guard, but the regular military might turn on the government, and the crown prince in exile will go in and take over.
Maybe. Unfortunately, there are a million scenarios where it all goes wrong, and there's only one where it goes right.
You're right on that. You're right. Well, yeah, no, you're right on that. You're right on that. So we're going to see what's going to happen. I'm thinking by next weekend, at the very latest, the weekend after that.
If you didn't subscribe today, think of us tomorrow. And with that, we'll see you at the next stop.